So looking at the stigma based on the shape, they could be like a cap, okay, like a head. You know, you wear a cap on your head, right? So capitate is like a head. So like this one, okay, it's like a bulb, like round, like a globe, like a cap, like a head, okay. Lobed will be like this. Suppose it's trifid, sometimes there are 3 lobes, okay. That's the style, and there's the ovary down there. So something like that. Then plumose will be when your stigma is feathery, okay, like a plume. You've heard, right, the plume of a peacock, you know, the peacock tail, okay. So like this, plumose means hairy, okay, like that. So looking at the ovary is the most important part, because obviously what does it contain? It contains the ovules, and those ovules will develop into the embryo, and from the embryo into the seed, okay, which will give rise to a new plant. And if there is no ovary inside the carpel, it will be sterile, okay. So there are special tissues known as placenta. We have done, right, placentation. Along the margin and the marginal line along which the carpel will fuse is called as the placental tissue. Fuses is called the ventral suture, the midrib being the dorsal suture. So the placenta is along the margin, okay, and this margin line, the carpel will fuse, okay. Suppose this is one side of the carpel, this is another side of the carpel, and like when they fuse together, no, like if you take a piece of cloth and then you fold it, no, and you fold it to make it into a ball, you have to paste it somewhere, you have to fuse it somewhere, no. So same here. Then when it fuses, okay, that is your ventral suture. And then remember your PP, okay, so suppose these are your peas and beans. This is the ventral suture, this one is the this is ventral suture, and this is the midrib. Let me repeat again. Imagine your pea pod, it opens from down also, it opens from up also, right? So this is your ventral suture, and this one is your midrib, okay. Okay, I think it's clear enough. So let's see how do we classify their carpels, classify the ovary. When we classify it according to the number of carpels, we'll call it as monocarpellary if there is just a single carpel, like your pea plant, no? This one, only one chamber, one carpel, and inside there were many ovules, okay. Then bicarpellary when there are 2 carpels, okay, like in your solanum. Solanum is your potato family, okay. So let's say this is one carpel and there are some ovules, and this is another carpel. These are ovules, okay. So this is one carpel, this is one carpel, so it's bicarpellary. Then if there are 3 carpels, this is 1, this is 2, this is the 3rd carpel, and inside the carpel there are 3rd carpel. Inside the carpel there are some ovules, that is your tricarpellary. Then if there are 4 carpels, it's tetracarpellary, then there are seeds inside, then penta, and then many more will be multicarpellary, okay. So based on the fused carpels, when the carpels are free, as in the case of water lily, they are apocarpous, okay. Remember syngenesious androgyme, when the anthers were fused, right? So syncarpous will be when something must be fused, no? So when the carpels are fused to form one compound gynosium, it is syncarpous, and the opposite of syn is apocarpous when they are free. Then looking at the lucule and loculi. So a locule is nothing but a chamber. Okay. Let's read what they've written. The ovary is hollow from inside and it encloses a chamber called as a locule. So we already know it, no? When you cut into a capsicum, it's hollow inside. No, so that is nothing but your chamber. Okay. That is your locule or loculi. Then if there is one chamber, it is unilocular, two chambers bi, then so on and so forth. Unilocular, one-chambered ovary, bilocular, two-chambered, three-chambered, multilocular, many-chambered. Okay, the examples are given there. So based on the position of the ovary, these words, they keep appearing, no? Hypogynous and superior, hypogynous, epigynous. Remember, in your class 12, you must have done. So when the gynosium is at the top of the thalamus, okay, and the other floral parts like the androgium, petals and sepals arise below the gynosium, it is known as hypogynosium and it's superior. Okay, so hypogynosium. So you correlate this word hypogynosium with the word high. Okay, so just imagine this woman, she is sitting on a high chair. Okay, the gynosium is on a high shelf and the rest are all down. Okay, so hypogynous means correlate with the word high. It's high, it's on the top. No, high means on the top. Okay, it's a high-rise building means a tall building. Okay, it's a high table means the height is high. So hypogynous means superior, because hypogynous we are correlating with the word high. Okay, so remember the thalamus is that plate on which the petals and the sepals and the androgium and the gynosium, they sit on. Then if, like in this case, no, can you see the gynosium is at the topmost while the rest are coming from the down of the thalamus. Okay, this word pedicel is also known as a thalamus. Okay, so that is your superior. Then the opposite is your your middle, you know, not super high, not super low. There, semi-inferior and your inferior. So semi-inferior, it is not exactly high, not exactly low, it's somewhere in the middle, no? So this is your semi-inferior. Okay, and then fully inferior will be when the entire ovary is deep inside the thalamus. Okay, and only the stigma and the style is coming out, and the rest, the sepal and petal, are above it. This is your inferior ovary. Okay, and then semi-inferior will be, they are more or less coming from the same place. Do you see this? The sepal and petal, you know, they are coming from the same place. And then we cannot count this one because it is arising from the petal. Okay, so we have to assume that they are all in the same line. Okay, so let's see what they have written. Epigynous and inferior. When the sepal, petals and androgium arise above the gynosium, the condition is called epigynous and the ovary is inferior. Okay, so I don't need to give you the hint, because for high, hypogynous means high, means tall. Then the opposite is epigynous. And look at this word peri, you just relate it with semi. Okay, peri, semi. Okay, eri, Emmy. Okay, Miss Emmy, Miss Emika, I'm Miss Emmy, no? Or you can change my name into Miss Erica. Okay, Emika, Erica. So it's in between. Okay, when the sepal, petals and androgium are arranged around the carpel and they are, it's neither superior nor inferior to the other, they are known as semi-inferior. So looking at the last part, that is the ovule, it is the megasporangium. Okay, there may be one or more ovules inside an ovary, and they will be seeds in the future. So the ovule is attached to the placenta by the funicule or funiculus, which means the ovule at the hilum. I know it sounds complicated, just see here, see the image. Okay, if you know the diagram, you will understand the explanation. So when you practice drawing, you will draw the funicle. You will start from down. This is the funicle. Then this is the hilum. So you are seeing it's attaching between the funicle and the hilum. Okay. Then as we go up, we go to the raphe. Wait. Maybe how do I show you this? Okay. Yeah, I think better this way. So we start with the funicle. Then the hilum is where it attaches. No. Then the topmost is the raphe. Then you have this outer integument, inner integument. Okay, fine. Here also outer and inner integument. Then the nucellus is here, and this part is the chalaza, and then inside is your embryo sac. Okay, so the embryo sac will be doing. You'll be doing it later. Okay. Let me just tell you then. In the embryo sac, you have the this is your synergids. Okay, synergids, and then here you have the egg cell. Okay. Then you have the polar nuclei, and then you will have the antipodals. Okay. I'm just telling you in rough. You will learn it better in your other classes. Okay. So now that you know the diagram, it'll be easier to understand. So the ovule is attached to the placenta. Well, obviously it has to attach to the placenta, because if you remember the pea leaf, no, the pea pod, okay, the seeds, no, the peas are attached by something. So that something is your placenta, which sends the food from the outer part of the plant to the ovule. Okay, so that part you know. So it has to be attached to the placenta, has to be, but by the funicle. Remember this down part? This down part, and it meets the ovule at this part, hilum. Remember, this is funicle, this is hilum. Then this is the rest, no, all those whatnot. So I think now it's clear, because from the diagram it's clear. So an ovule without funicle is directly attached to the placenta, is called as sessile. Okay, so if directly this placenta, no, and then directly ovule, this will be sessile. But if we have a funicle and then the ovule, placenta must be running inside. This is not sessile. Okay. So raphe is nothing. Remember this one, like this. This part was this was the funicle, this was the this is the raphe. The raphe is nothing but the extension of the funicle only. So the general tissue of the ovule is called the nucellus. Okay, means the cells of the ovule. Okay, it is called as your nucellus. Okay. And the embryo sac, remember the one I drew, this, like that, this one, is just above the nucellus. Okay. So the ovule is covered by two integuments, the outer and inner, and then there's an opening known as the micropyle. Okay, from where the pollen tube can enter. So with this chapter is done. Thank you, girls.